checks. On page 26, there's been a change or an amendment to the reasonable accommodations and how those can be submitted. They can be submitted verbally, which to the ADA coordinator. There's a sample form that's attached for that particular purpose. There's been a change to the drug prohibitions and at section 2.B, a doctor may be contacted if someone presents a prescription that's more than a year old, then the doctor may be contacted to check the validity of that. There's a change about post-accident testing. There's also an attachment with regard to controlled substance testing. There's an attachment to the code that deals with that. The post-accident testing, as I was mentioning, that's if anyone's involved in an accident, they have to be readily available for testing. There's a section added under classification of employees for an exempt employee, which that would be someone that's exempt from overtime because of their position. So they would be exempt because of the Fair Labor Standards Act and Kentucky Wage and Hour laws. There's also been a section added for an interim employee, which we didn't have before. Under terms of employment, there's been some language added with regard to full-time employees and how much compensatory time they can accrue, and the fact that that also deals with exempt employees and overtime compensation. Flex time, there's some language added about flex time, working flex time and prior approval and tardiness. There's language added about transfers and about light duty employment. The transfers talks about, that's kind of significant because it talks about transferring employees between departments, that the court can do that, and that if employees are transferred, then their pay is adjusted to the grade of the position in which they're being transferred to. To clarify that, because used to there was a question about, well, do they keep the same grade they've got, even though they're going to one that would pay less, so we've clarified that in here. And again, the light duty, there's a section about no one can seek elective office while you're on the county payroll. They have to take leave without pay if they're going to do that. Todd Wilson, the Chief Deputy at the Sheriff's Office, has been added to the safety, to be a member of the Safety Committee. Under the sick leave policy, employees can use one full day of sick leave without a doctor's excuse. And then there's a section that's been modified and some additional language about a medical certification or doctor's statement upon return to work after someone's used sick leave, and when a statement may actually be required by a medical professional. There's a section under workers' compensation that talks about FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act, will run concurrent with all workers' compensation claims with loss of time over 7 calendar days. There's some position descriptions that have been added. Let me get to those. An animal control officer / shelter supervisor. and an animal shelter director. Those are both position descriptions that have been added. Also, an assistant treasurer, position description for that. A finance executive secretary, that position has been added. And I think that's about it. Oh, a road department office manager has been added. A vehicle mechanic / diesel technician and a vehicle mechanic technician 1 and a vehicle maintenance / diesel mechanic technician 2, vehicle maintenance diesel technician 3, vehicle maintenance diesel technician 3, and a vehicle mechanic diesel technician, and that's a part-time or seasonal position, and a vehicle maintenance / shop foreman. And in the salary schedule, there's been some changes to the animal control officer supervisor, the road department office supervisor, or those have been added because of the position descriptions. The purchase, section, chapter 6, an authorization of county contracts. The small purchase amount is anything under $5,000. And the section C has raised the amount for up to $30,000 for competitive bidding. Anything over $30,000. There's also a section, if the judge determines a need for any item that's under $5,000, if the purchase is over $5,000 is needed, the department or head supervisor should tell the judge, and then the judge, if he agrees with that, then he can put it on the fiscal court agenda for approval. There's a couple other things. There's, of course, emergencies that come up, and this deals with that. And then talks about purchase orders have to be requested in advance of purchases from the county treasurer's office. That's a big issue that we wanted included in here to make sure there's no confusion about that. And if the office isn't open, then it has to be requested the first working day after the office, on return to the office. And there's a section added about data breach, policy about data breach that everybody needs to be familiar with. And again, I talked about the open records policy, and that's put out or specified in the administrative code. And again, the attachment here for the request for reasonable accommodations, and a couple of other attachments that were already a part of the prior code. And the open records request form, that's a form that anytime somebody comes in and asks for open records, they'll fill out this form, and then it'll be the same across all county offices or within county government. And finally, there's, as has been in the past, once the court approves this, it's advertised and approved, then each employee will need to sign the agreement where they say they've read it and understand it. That's it.
Do we need a motion?
To advertising. Yep. And Donita did an amazing job. I know she has, the judge said she's worked really hard on this.
Mm-hmm.
Motion to accept.
Mr. Wheeler makes the motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Actually,
For
motion to
advertising.
approve for
Advertising.
advertising.
Yep.
Is
We
what it
take-
needs to be.
He did it. You want a second?
Yeah.
Mr. Renshaw will
He
second.
second.
Okay. Somebody get Mr. Strunk.
It don't matter, as long as it gets second.
All right. Any discussions on this? As I said, Anita really put in a lot of time at it, and she's consulted with me and some other magistrates and with our county attorney, and we're making it more thorough, seems like, more detailed. It gets thicker every year, but it gets us up to date on everything we need to be looking at.
One other thing, there'll be a copy in the judge's office if anybody wants to see it
There will be.
ahead of time before final vote.
Yes. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Motion passes. Next item was the reading of the medical cannabis. We're going to put that on hold. We've had some other stuff come up that we've failed to proceed with, and that will be on the next item, next agenda that we have, the next court meeting. Next item would be to approve the bids. I think everyone's got a copy of the bids that was submitted a month ago, right at a month ago, 2 meetings ago. I would ask for a motion to approve all the bids with the exception of Barnes Cleaning. We're probably going to ask to rebid that later. Could I have a motion to accept the bids?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Strunk. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Would it be correct to ask at this time to rebid that or put it out?
No, we're going to wait till the next regular
Okay.
meeting to do that.
I want to make a little bit of an explanation on the Barnes Cleaning, not saying what their bid was, but we do not know at this time what our reimbursement is from AOC on new bids for the building over there, and I want to make sure that we get reimbursed on their new bid, or whomever is the new bid with, because we're set on a sort of a standard that they will pay us back for cleaning at the building there, and I want to make sure that's covered before we accept any bids.
Just for clarification purposes, AOC is a state agency that oversees those courthouses.
Well, we lease, the county owns it and leases it to the Administrative Office of the Courts, AOC.
And in turn, they reimburse us for all the expenses over there.
Next item will be department reports. Mr. Danny, Solid Waste.
This morning, we have 5 properties to bring to fiscal court for approval for mowing or cleaning up. They are as follows. 108 Willow Drive is for mowing. 49 Hilltop Drive is mowing and to clean up the property. 148 Pine Drive Spur is mowing and cleanup. 14 Izzy Street is a removal of a trailer and a property cleanup. And then 201 Auburn Avenue would be mowing and property cleanup. And you can see by pictures what's going on at each particular.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion. Mr. Wheeldon makes a motion and Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
All you have? Thank you. Excuse me. Next item would be the county clerk, election pay scale and bill list. ahead, Mark.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mark.
I sent out a letter, Chris did it for me on Friday, and I'd like to get that approved this time.
Are you speaking of the letter that has the additions of the precinct officer's pay schedule?
Yes, schedule. Some items that, we need to add so the auditors be pleased, satisfy the auditor's needs. we're already paying these, but we need to get them approved, I guess.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Strunk, second by Mr. Turpin. Any discussion?
All I'm going to say is we've had a discussion about it. I'm a little concerned about the budget process and the last minute change in the payroll. And just want to make sure there was no favoritism one way or the other. So, and we had that discussion before the meeting today. But if this is part of getting these guys paid for their service, then I'm going to vote for it.
Any other discussion or comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Also, I have to get approval from my bill list. Evidently, I've got to come before y'all to ask for my workers to get paid. Is that correct, Carissa?
Actually, I could have done it, but you're fine.
I'm sorry. What it says here is on county clerk.
It's on the bill, on our bill list.
Oh,
so-
okay.
So I don't have to ask for it then?
You're fine. Go right ahead.
Okay. Thank you all.
Just stay right there.
Uh-oh.
I want to ask a couple of questions, Mark.
Okay.
On the bill list, not to say anything bad about anybody or anything, we have the bill list in the back of our bill list to be paid. The primary election ran the county a little over $50,000. We had about 86 workers, looked like, work those polls. Are we getting cheaper? Are we saving money by condensing these primary or the voting centers down? Seems like we're still got a lot of workers, and it's still costing the county quite a bit of money.
Well, for one thing, the $50,000 included $3,600 in commissioner pay, and then $6,600 in the security. So it's actually down to $40,000, but what I
Okay.
paid out. And it's about $2,000 cheaper than what it was in the past.
That's what I wanted to know. You said security cost us how much?
$6,600.
Is
I think
that
that's what it was. Is that what it was, 6,600?
is that a state mandate?
No.
Is it necessary?
Y'all said it was. I think Tim got it approved last time or 2 times ago.
Okay. I'm looking for ways to save money,
I
but not
understand that.
endanger the public. But it seems like if we have patrol at the voting precincts or voting centers, just some patrols, I don't know if we need a 12-hour security there. Maybe we do. I didn't know if that was state mandated or not.
I get no, it's suggested by the State Board of Elections.
Okay.
They're suggesting us to do something along those lines. And I think we pay the city of Somerset, it runs 4 of the 5 of the, I don't know how many they run, to tell you the truth. They run 3, 4, maybe 5 of them, and they're the ones, we just follow their pay scale.
A
How
question along
many
that-
voters did we have vote in?
6,431, I think is what it was.
Do you know the percent of voters that voted early? Because we're keeping it open 3 days.
1,750 of them,
Okay, I
roughly
know
25%.
it's running 3 days extra of early voting,
I understand that.
and that seems to be running the price up on what we're paying, but maybe it's a good thing. I don't want to crowd everybody into one day, but it does prolong the pay period.
I understand that. Believe me, I understand that.
Okay, all
I
right.
see what some of these people pay, and I said, good gosh, I'm paying her that much or him that much. I understand.
Okay,
The County Board of Elections set my time, and, I gotta go follow what they said. We had 3 12-hour days, which is 36 hours. I think last time I had it at about 42 hours, or the time before, because I didn't like the 12 hours on Saturday is too much. Like I said, we could stop at 4 and probably have the same amount of people voting, but they want to be consistent because everybody gets confused, and last thing we need is a confused voter.
Who picked the amount of money that we were paying for security, an hour?
And again, Tim was the one that got all this approved through you all, I think, last time, wasn't it, or
I
two
don't,
times ago?
I don't remember us voting on security.
Like I said, that's a Tim question, but I think he said it'd be unfair to pay some less than what the city of Somerset's getting, so that's what the fee, that's what the amount he paid is based on what the city of Somerset charged us. I think this is the second time, I don't know. This may be just the second time.
I don't know, but.
I remember him coming up in front of fiscal court, I thought last November or last October.
I would like to see the date, if somebody can research when we actually approved security, because I don't.
I didn't
remember.
ask you, I didn't have nothing to do with it.
So maybe Tim can get us that information, but of an approximate date, so we can go back and research.
Like I said, it was in October before the November election, so it'd been the October of 2023, I think is when it was.
Any other questions? Thank you.
That wasn't too bad. You didn't draw no blood.
We might not be done.
Thank you all.
Next item will be the road department. Wayne, you want to ask?
I'd like to ask for 3,000 ton of rock again this month.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson. Second by Mr. Will. And any discussion on the 3,000 ton? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
How about the road list? Do we have it in front of us?
Yeah, can I say something about the road department? Just a reminder that over the last 2+ weeks now, we've been dealing with all these emergency trees that were down, and they're still falling. I talked to Wayne yesterday about another tree, so I appreciate the road department stepping up, but I just want to put out a public statement that we're dealing with all these down trees and getting these roads and culverts cleaned out. That means our other critical road list stuff is being put on the back burner. We're 3 weeks out now, so I'm getting all potholes filled and stuff like that. So just wanted to say thank you to the road department for stepping up, and also to make the county residents aware that everything else is getting backlogged until we get that cleaned up.
I have a motion to approve road list.
Motion.
By
Second.
Mr. Wilden, second by Mr. Renshaw. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Finance, Carissa on the bill list, the big bill list.
Looking for approval on the bill list.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Strunk makes a motion to approve the bill list, and Mr. Wilson seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? And it passes. That's all we have on the agenda today. We have citizens' comments, but I've been advised we cannot allow that in a special call meeting. So I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson, and second by Mr. Strunk. We will stand adjourned. Thanks, everyone, for coming.